Some of the best things in life are fleeting. Maybe all of them are. Filmmaker and philosopher Jason Silva looks at love, loss, and technology in his new YouTube series, Shots of Awe. One installment called Existential Bummer now has more than 2 million views.
So there's a great essay written by Sigmund Freud called On Transience, and in it, he cites a conversation that he had with the poet Rilke as they were walking along this beautiful garden. And at one point, Rilke looked like he was about to tear up, and Freud said, "What's wrong? It's a beautiful day, there's beautiful plants around us, this is magnificent." And then Rilke says, "Well, I can't get over the fact that one day all of this is going to die. All these trees, all these plants, all this life is going to decay. Everything dissolves in meaninglessness when you think about the fact that impermanence is a really real thing. Perhaps the greatest existential bummer of all is entropy." And I was really struck by this because perhaps that's why when we're in love, we're also kind of sad. There's a sadness to the ecstasy, you know? Beautiful things sometimes can make us a little sad, and it's because what they hint at is the exception, a vision of something more, a vision of a hidden door, a rabbit hole to fall through, but a temporary one. And I think ultimately that is kind of the tragedy.
So we're happy and sad watching this, right, Jason? Jason Silva, good morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to you guys. Hi.
Happy holiday weekend. Where did the idea, I mean, this has gotten a lot of attention now online. Where did this come from?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was very affected when I first read Ernest Becker's book, The Denial of Death, which was a Pulitzer Prize-winning book from the 70s. And a little pop culture reference, it's the book that Woody Allen gives Diane Keaton in the movie Annie Hall when they're in the bookstore, and he's like, "You need to understand how I view life." And basically, The Denial of Death distills the human condition to the following premise. It says that human beings are afflicted with this kind of unbearable awareness of our own mortality. We are the only species that loses sleep over the fact that one day in the future we're going to die. So with our minds, we can kind of ponder the infinite, yet we're housed in heart-pumping, breath-gasping, decaying bodies. And see the absurdity of that juxtaposition.
So well
put. Right, this is his words. So the absurdity of that juxtaposition imbues even our greatest ecstasies with a little bit of sadness. No matter how wondrous, how wonderful our love affairs, our art, everything fades, everything ends. And
your gift is obviously what you want it to be, which is you're taking philosophy and you're making it mainstream.
Yes.
But when you watch the YouTube videos, I always think, how does he do this? Because you do this in one fell swoop. You don't edit any of that.
Right. The delivery on the videos is all stream of consciousness. I like to think that I go into a flow state. They've recently done brain scans, fMRI scans on freestyle rappers and on jazz musicians when they improvise. And what they find is that the lateral prefrontal cortex, part of the brain responsible for self-editing, goes quiet. So it's pure creativity. It's all stream of consciousness. So I suppose I'm conjuring up everything I've been reading about philosophy and metaphysics and technology and creativity.
So you don't script it, you just start.
Yes, it's like a philosophical beat poetry, you could say, in a way. And I love doing them because it allows me to, in essence, bottle inspiration. Because inspiration also is defined by its impermanence, right? It's these transient moments of insight, these aha moments. And the artist does his best to paint or sing or write down, or in my case, narrate these insights, these ecstasies. And so in a way, this comes from like being an artist and also being a control freak and wanting to bottle these ephemeral moments. And I guess that's really the inspiration.
So Brain Games, your show,
that's right,
is on National Geographic.
Correct.
New season coming up.
January.
What should we expect?
You're going to expect a lot more brain hacks, and we're going to blow your minds. Brain Games is the highest-rated series in the history of National Geographic, and we kind of teach people about their perceptions and misperceptions of reality. And I think what's amazing about that is that you come to realize that everything you perceive is ultimately representation. You receive limited signals through your instruments, through your senses, and then your brain kind of fills in the blanks. It makes inferences about reality all the time. So reality has really comes to be seen as a kind of co-production. You bring to it your expectations, preconceptions, nuances and subtleties, and so it's kind of a cool takeaway.
You're a very busy guy between National Geographic and YouTube and, as we mentioned, Brain Games.
Yes.
What is the overall message you want people to walk away with? Because I feel like you have a very strong platform.
Yes.
And you want people to see the beauty in everyday life.
So I'll tell you what it is. I'm interested in awe. There was a study out of Stanford on the subject of awe where they defined awe as an experience of such perceptual vastness or such perceptual expansion, like seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time or the movie Gravity on IMAX 3D. that the experience is so vast that you have to reconfigure, reset your mental models of the world in order to assimilate the experience. And it turns out that every time you have that, you have an awe experience, you're left with residual feelings of well-being, altruism, and compassion. So blowing your own mind with inspiration makes you a nicer person. So that's a currency I'm interested in trading in.
That's what happens to me after family leaves for Thanksgiving.
Pure awe.
There's a reconnection process.
Well,
it's a rebasing.
Thank you for joining us this morning and blowing our minds.
Thank you,
Really
guys.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for supporting Shots of Awe, man. Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks, man.